Go through your lips, the labia. You have to pass the labia. You pass through the vestibule area here. You have to pass the teeth, and we'll look at the incisors and all that stuff here in just a minute. And then you enter the oral cavity proper. Now we learned all about the buccinator in 210, that when we chew our foods, mastication, that the buccinator contracts and it keeps the food between the teeth. So the food can't go out into the vestibule of the cheek area, and it can't go in because the tongue is there, and so it ends up being ground up during that process we call mastication. Okay. Now, as we look at this process, then that material is turned into supposed to be now. Supposed to be. Now, if you are on the road and you stop at McDonald's and hopefully not Wendy's or some other place that has better food. Although I will say this in their defense, they did change their food. I guess it's been about a year ago. McDonald's totally changed their meat, their beef. It's totally changed. And my son, I was moving out or in, I can't remember, a bolus, the bolus. And this is what you're supposed to make anytime you masticate your food. Now, if you're not producing a bolus, then the act of deglutition is going to be difficult. Now, we learned that word in 210 as well. That was on their test today, deglutition. And this is that complex act of swallowing. And we've talked about that already again in 211. So the bolus now is moist and slippery because saliva is primarily water, but it also has not just enzymes, it has mucus. Very nice, very nice. Okay. This is why you can chew some of that up real well, take it out and throw it against the wall and it sticks. You never done that?
No.
Oh, I didn't know you were that sensitive.
When it comes to that stuff, yeah.
Really? Don't go to the zoo, because monkeys throw their poo. You know, that's, they're famous or infamous, I guess. It depends on how you look at it. Yeah. You throw them peanuts, they throw you back their poo. It doesn't seem to be much of a fair exchange, but I guess it's the same because it just went through them, so they're giving it back. Oh, how nice. But anyway, have you ever been to the zoo and had that happen?
No.
You must not have been to the
I've
zoo.
been to the plenty of times.
You didn't go see the monkeys and
Oh,
give them
no,
peanuts.
I have, they just don't throw their poop out.
Really?
No, you're into the monkeys.
Well, I was a young boy, and I guess I did irritate them.
Ew, they really threw it at you.
Sure.
Did they hate you?
No, good grief. Yeah. Okay, well, all right, that's enough of that. Okay, so the bolus then is slippery, and can easily be pushed by the posterior of the tongue against the lingual tonsil, which we've already done all this stuff. And then, though, it crosses out of the oral cavity through the fauces. This is the line of demarcation. And it enters the oropharynx. That's cool. And of course, it's passing by the palatine tonsils. So we got two tonsils that are fairly close to each other. The lingual, which is involved in pushing the bolus into the esophagus. And then the palatine tonsil here. Now, as the food moves down, okay, your pharynx moves up. And we've done this already. We put our finger on the, laryngeal prominence right here. Adam's apple. It definitely got stuck in his craw. And it should have, that sorry rascal. I mean, that was a major loser.
Yeah,
And we've all been suffering ever since. But anyway.
a lot of
So
bloodshed.
this, when you swallow, goes up. Can't stop it once you start it. So it's voluntary and involuntary. Deglutition is quite complex. But anyway, So as this goes up, we close off the glottal opening against the epiglottis, and the food, the bolus, slides. It should. Now, if you're eating like a wolf, it don't slide. It sticks, and sometimes it hurts. Okay? Especially a big hunk of bread, dry bread, and you just take a hunk and you take a bite out of it and you swallow it. And then you go, water, please, I need some water here. Well, you could have put the water with it if you would have masticated it, but you didn't. So you're getting what you deserve. Now, this is the upper esophageal sphincter. Love that word, sphincter. Okay. So if you have an upper esophageal sphincter, what else you gotta have? You gotta have a lower. Now, as we're just, again, big picture today, we have the esophagus that is one of the strangest, oddest constructed aspects of human anatomy. Okay? Your esophagus is built out of skeletal muscle and smooth muscle. So when we look at the esophagus, this tube right here, the top third is skeletal muscle. The middle third is a mix, and the lower third is smooth muscle. Now, we don't have anything. We have no other organs in it. That's weird. We have no other organs in the body that have a mixture like this. Okay. Now, this is why we've had twice friends of people in the church who've had a child who damaged their upper esophagus. Okay. One fell and they were eating or something. I don't remember what they were doing. They had something in their mouth. Anyway, and it pierced the upper esophagus. It made a hole in it. It took 4 years for that finally to get better. And what they did is they put myosatellite cells, and they grew them and put them in there, and they just had to keep doing it until it finally healed. Because there is no way to make new skeletal fibers. Okay? So if you're going to damage your esophagus, you don't want to damage the upper esophagus. Now, this is the problem with acid reflux long term. Okay? Because if you erode the upper esophagus, there's no regeneration. And so when that gets messed up, you're messed up. Okay? So if you have acid reflux, okay, then don't eat right before you go to bed, number one. Number two, take an antacid before you go to bed if you do, okay? Number three, make sure your bed is on an incline going up so that as you sleep,